Hello, this is a presentation for web interface for voice recorder Katana. To plug in, first of all, let's type in katana.gedion.lt in the URL, and then we get screen. You should plug in your username and your password, which you can get from your distributor, and then you can do the login. First of all, you can change all your settings and see all your settings here. Just press edit profile. You can change anything except for your username. You can change your personal information, you can change your password, and here you can also see what kind of data plan you have, when it expires, and how much place is used. You can always ask for some more space from the distributor. Okay, and then let's go to, we can see that the main menu is up here. We have records, devices, templates, and create config. And we'll start with records. This is actually the dashboard. We can see all the recorded files which are collected on the FTP. You can see that there is name of device, and we have like several devices already tested here. It's file, demo1, and test. And you can also sort it by the time it was created or by duration. If you think that something is missing, it might be because the interface didn't collect it from the FTP, so you just press the refresh button, and then you have records were successfully refreshed, so you know you've got all the new records up here. You can listen to the records directly by pressing the play button. You can download them. You can delete them, and we will talk about config a little bit later. You can see all the records from one device if you press this device name. So you can see we have only 3 records from file, and we can remove filter and go back to the original dashboard. Or we can download and delete several files at a time. For instance, we can do like that and then press delete. And we get a message, are we sure we want to delete it? Okay, let's not do it now, but you can definitely do it. Same as with download. Okay, and config is basically related to the device. You can config the device. You can see it's over here also. And same, okay, if we press config, we are going to configuring the file, and actually we can see all devices, and we have here the same stuff. We can see records. We will go back to what we've seen already, and we can press config. We get again the table for configuring the voice recorder. The idea is like that. You can configure it, then create new config, and this config will be uploaded to the device whenever it connects the first time to the server. You can also use templates, which are basically the same settings, but you can save them for later uploading, so you wouldn't have to spend time writing them down again. And it's basically here in the templates, and you can see I've created one demo inside, and I can edit and delete it. Okay, and also we have create config tab, which is again the same config file. The only difference is that if you want to start, or if you want to use it for the first time, you want to use the voice recorder for the first time, you should create a config file and save it to an SD card, which you would then place in the voice recorder for later recording. So let's just do the config for our file voice recorder. We press config file, and then here you can see we have several tabs. We have general, those are the general settings, connection settings, recording settings, and those 3 you would probably not change very often. But recording schedule and connection schedule, those are probably the ones that you would like to change from time to time depending on your tasks. And there is also a very important point, this is statuses. Basically you can see what was the status of the voice recorder, then it connected for the last time. We can see the battery type, we can see then it connected for the last time, we can see what was the quality of our Wi-Fi reception, how many files, and how much space was used. Okay, so let's go to the general settings. In general settings, you can see that's the name file. That's how we name that voice recorder, so we would know that the records are coming exactly from it, and that's how we separate them. Then you can turn off and on the LEDs for battery voltage cutoff. This is used to save the voice recorder from accidentally turning it off. Then the voltage drops down to low, so we put 3.4, and then it gets to this position, it will just turn everything off. The time zone, that's really important, because if you want to use the schedule, you need to know in what region do you live. And time synchronization is extremely important, and you can, as it says here, you can configure it from FTP every time. So every time it connects to the server, it synchronizes the time. You can sync it once, or if you are not sure, then it's gonna connect to the server. You can use synchronization from config file. So the voice recorder will just read the time, then config file was created, and set it as the initial time. And they also have what to do with the files after upload. You can erase them, so the memory would be clear, or you can flag them. So any record is saved both on the server and on SD card, but it would not be uploaded again because it's flagged of being uploaded. And then connection settings. Okay, you give the name of your access point, whatever you want. It's just SSID and a password. Then you have an FTP server. By default, we have our FTP server for this particular interface, but if you use some different FTP, you can just plug in your own numbers. FTP server port, live stream at the moment, just leave it off. It will be coming shortly, and we will add this function later. So here you just leave everything out, and then very important, you should put the FTP username and FTP password. The FTP username is the same, the FTP username and password are the same as you use to access this interface. Okay. And then we go to recording settings. Recording settings, that's basically we're talking about the quality of recording. You can choose the sampling rate, then you choose the compression. Non-compression is just raw file and PCM. You can use ADPCM, which I would not recommend, because if you want compression, use OGG. It's about the same quality as ADPCM, maybe even better, but it's like it compresses the raw files about 10 times. And then you have microphone gain. Well, you should play with this parameter, because naturally if you add more gain, you pick up a little bit more noise, but maybe sometimes you just have to hear it. And because of compression, you could lose something if there was not enough microphone gain. Maximum audio file duration. The record is split into files with maximum duration. So if you put 1 minute, that would mean that if the conversation was like for 10 minutes, you will get 10 files 1 minute long. So it's up to you how you would like to split them. Voice activation method. We have Pro and Echo. Pro is more accurate, and if you don't care for the power consumption, use Pro. Echo is more power conscious, so if you need to the voice recorder to work a little bit longer, use Echo. And voice activation system sensitivity. I would say regularly it's about 30, but if you want to hear something like really low, put it to 20 or even less. It's also a parameter to play with. You have to fix it for yourself to know it, to check it in a particular situation. Well, the lower the parameter is, the more sensitive the voice recorder, because that stands for the level of voice of sound to start recording. Voice activation recording stop timeout in seconds. Basically, that's the silence timeout. Uh, if there was no sound for at this here it's for 6 seconds, the voice recording will stop the recording, and it will wait for some other time. And then loop recording, well, basically that's just what to do with a file, what to do with original files if there is no place left on a memory card. Okay, and now we go to those recording and connection schedule. Well, recording schedule have basically two parameters. One is voice activation system. We can either enable it or disable it. I want to mention that even enabling the voice recording system, it will operate only then the voice recorder is scheduled to work, which is like the next parameter. If you want it to work always as a voice activated manner, you should put the schedule to all this. That means that the voice recorder is always on, it's always listening, and it will always record when there is something to record. But we can set it to once, and we can set exact time and date to start and finish. Well, just okay, let's put it 12 something. Okay, 1 o'clock till 16 o'clock, doesn't matter. You can add several of them, you can delete them. We can set, for instance, weekdays to record from 16 o'clock till 20, and on weekends we can set it record from 1 o'clock, from early in the morning or late at night, and also let's say to 16 o'clock. Also possible to set each day different time, no problem. But again, if we use it like that, that's enabled, so we will have it on weekdays from 16 to 20 hours with voice activation system, and we will have it from 1 a.m. till 16 hours on weekends, also with voice activation system on. Okay, and the last one, not least one, is the connection schedule. Okay, connect when we have two options, request and schedule. Request is basically connects whenever there is a file to upload. So keep in mind, if you have the maximum file duration is like really small, it's like, let's say 1 minute or 2 minutes, it might be a bit dangerous, because the voice recorder would just upload the file after 1 minute, so you will probably won't be able to get all the recording. So keep this in mind. Using request is like very cautious. And then scheduled, on the other side, you can just schedule the time then the voice recorder should try to connect to the server and upload all its records. And here you have exactly the same as we saw in the recording schedule. You can set once exact time, okay, as you can see here, date and time. You can use daily connection and set just one time, or you can use weekdays, set some time, and then you can set for weekends, let's say a different time, or you can use it like you can set every day at different time. Monday at 16:03, Tuesday let's say at 14 hours, and so on. And then you have also two more parameters, which is Wi-Fi attempt interval, which is basically if the voice recorder fails to connect to your Wi-Fi router to SSID, um, it takes a break for 1200. Well, you can set for what time would it take the break, and you can see here we will probably change it from seconds to minutes because that makes sense. So just keep in mind that might change. So it's either at this time it's something like 20 minutes, right? So if it fails, it will try to connect again in 20 minutes, and then Wi-Fi attempt number, that's the number of attempts it actually makes to connect. So if it fails to connect once, try again in 20 minutes. If it fails, try again in 20 minutes, and so on up to 10 times. And I would say that basically it, you know how to use uh, your Katana web interface for listening, uploading, deleting files, uh, setting a new configuration, and please contact us if you have any other questions. We will be glad to help you.